All right. We should be live now.
Awesome. I will be sure to only say good things. Is the stream on a delay, or are we still on the stream like starting screen?
We're still on the stream starting screen.
Okay.
Shouldn't be delayed by much, but I mean, obviously, you know how streaming goes.
Right. Well, you don't want anyone stream sniping the presentation, so
No, of course not. That would suck.
yeah. What was that heart? Was that someone liking the stream?
Ooh, somebody's liking the
no.
stream? They should
I
be.
hope so.
That's how they should be doing. That's
Make
how
sure
we're
you put an
moving.
engagement poll in the chat. Did you like the stream? Yes, but agency, or whatever it is that Thunderbird got to farm engagement.
Of course, always. I accidentally restarted the timer, everyone. I guess that means we're waiting another 10 minutes. Uh-oh. That's lyrics. Lyrics are bad. That's how you get copyrights, right?
Oh shit! Okay. Cancel the soundtrack. Cancel the soundtrack.
That's okay. We've been there.
Have you been? Did you get like copyright strict for other background stuff you played before?
Yes, I have, but it is what it is. Instead of getting $5 for the video, I get $1. It is what it is. Play Freebird? No.
I think I got copyright like claimed on one of my like old draft videos when I put MF Doom in the background whenever Don fan came in, this MF Doom fan, and they like copyright my video with like 10 views. I was like, all right, man, like you can have it.
The content ID got me on one of our old ones when you wanted me to play like 2 seconds of Sexy Back when you started speaking.
Oh, yeah.
They won't even give you 2 seconds anymore,
You can't
man.
even have 2 seconds of Sexy Back anymore? That's nuts.
Unfreaking believable.
We're not waiting 10 minutes, are we?
No, we're not. We're not.
Okay, cool.
All right, stop it. All right. If I hear reach for my hand again, I'm gonna lose my mind. All right, let me see. I think we're rocking like 4 viewers, which is like good enough when you think about it. 6 viewers now.
It's
Shit.
peak draft content numbers. Oh, maybe you should put the link in the draft server.
That's a good ass point. I just assumed that those guys are busy.
I mean, they could be, but who knows?
They're Pokemon players.
They'll be frogs.
There we go. We'll start the stream when the timer's at 6-7. How about that?
Okay. As in 6 minutes and 7 seconds?
That's right.
Okay, I was gonna say.
We gotta keep everybody on their toes here. Never let them know your next move.
I thought you just did let them know your next move.
Listen, we're workshopping the stratagem.
Sure. It's like the art of war. Like,
that's right. I mean, Sun Tzu didn't just know this shit like at birth. He had to learn this.
You gotta let them know your next moves. That way they don't know the next move after that.
Whoa. It's kind of fire.
You should attack where your enemy is weak. Holy shit. He's a fucking genius.
All right, it's 6-7. We're live. How's it going, everyone? For those of you who don't know me, I don't know how you got here, but it's Tetrafolium. My co-host today is my roommate, also a participant of this draft league here. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Porter. The online tag is like ephemeral style pretty much everywhere, but I think I listed myself as Porter in the drafters, so that's me.
Sick. All right. So we're doing our season 6 of our draft league. We started doing this, I think, like when we were in freshman year of college.
I think so. I can pull up the archives and see when season 0 was, but it's been like 5 years.
Yeah, it's been maybe not quite freshman year of college, but like we've been doing this for a while.
Yeah,
we started
2021 was the first league.
Oh my gosh, that was so long ago. That
Yeah.
was season 0. It was Gen 8. I won that one, by the way. Haven't won one since, so we'll have to see what's happening here. Maybe it's time for Tetrafolium
This
to
could
get
be the
his run
season.
back.
This could be the season.
That's right. But yeah, our previous 5 seasons have all been Gen 9. And this is going to be our first one with champions. So the format's going to be a lot more limited than we're used to. I think with Gen 9, we were like kind of rolling with like huge draft pools and like,
right.
I don't know. Never drafted as few Pokemon as this before. We're down to 8 instead of well, we had like 10 to 12 before, right?
Yeah, it's a pretty different format than any of the seasons we've done previously, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess doubles is probably the most different than anything we've done before, but we don't talk about that season.
That's the forgotten season.
That season. Yeah, that season doesn't exist. Dude, holy shit, I just looked. We used to have 14 picks or some shit. What the fuck? That can't be right.
No way.
No.
I think our season 0, we had like 10, but everybody like dropped shit and picked up shit
Oh,
we
yeah,
did a synchronous redraft.
Oh my god.
That was funny.
Fucking mess.
All right, let's get into this. So there's our logo here, there, the Gibble with the Rocky helmet and the heavy duty boots. Unfortunately, both of those items don't exist in this format.
Yeah.
But we could still get those rocks up on turn 17, and that's all that matters. So let's get the rules going. So 8-mon draft, 8 people drafting, 90 points overall, and snake style, kind of like standard for Smogon draft if you're familiar with that. We're doing champions rule set for the most part. So we only have the items available to champions, the move pools, the stats, the Pokemon, whatever. Item clause, I think, is a native rule to champions, which kind of works out because we were always playing with item clause. So unfortunately, though, that the constricted pool of items is going to make the item situation, I think, a little bit even more difficult than it usually is.
I think we're going to see a lot of resist berries this season.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get resisted up. We're going to be running the cherry berry because it's like, oh, my lum's already taken.
No way.
Yeah.
Now with the 1/8 para chance, no shot you're running the cherry berry.
Can't afford to be slow here.
True.
I think probably the most different rule we have is that the Mega Pokemon must Mega the first move that it clicks. I don't know how other draft leagues are doing it, but that's what we decided. So we're gonna roll with it. That means that Pokemon like Mega Scolipede are Mega ass. But
Yeah. There's pros and cons to this rule. It's mainly for Pokemon whose megas are really bad, and it gives you an incentive to draft them. For example, Garchomp. Garchomp with no item is one of the best Pokemon on the board. Or Garchomp with any item rather is one of the best Pokemon on the board, and you would snap up Garchomp Mega and just never Mega for like the 14 points or whatever it's at, if you could, and then just bring like an actual Mega Pokemon and bring that. So we wanted to enforce this rule to be able to like incentivize Pokemon like Mega Clefable and Mega Garchomp getting some usage. Not that I don't think anyone
Nobody drafted
drafted a
those shits anyway,
Pokemon.
so
Yeah, yeah.
shit kind of
Um,
backfired on us when you think about
right,
it.
right. And then the other side of things is like if we didn't have this rule, there's other strategies like Mega Scolipede who can use Speed Boost before becoming Scolipede, or Mega Diancie that can have its fat defenses before it megas and stuff like that. So there are pros and cons to each. We might switch this up depending on how the season goes and what megas get added, but that's what we got for now.
For reference, I don't think Diancie's in the game yet,
No, not at the
but
moment. Not at the moment, but
yeah,
it'll probably come when they add like Mega Heatran and Mega Magearna, God save us, and whatever else.
we're allowing Mega Magearna, right?
Dude, I don't know.
Is itemless Chomp even that busted? Probably not, but it's more busted than the 14 points that we put it at.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Well, that rule. I mean, we're gonna roll with it here, but I would be open to changing that one. It's like if you think that an itemless Garchomp is worth more than 14 points, then we'll just make it harder to draft Mega Chomp.
Right.
It is what it is.
And at that point, you're just buffing. You're just drafting itemless Chomp. You're not drafting Mega Chomp for 16 points. That's just bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He's not like he's not a terrible Mega, right? He's just worse than base. Like he's worse than base with an item, but like if you put yourself in a position where all of a sudden your Mega Chomp outspeeds everything, then like you would be happy to Mega, right?
Yeah.
All right, so the bullshit, as so eloquently put by Mr. Porter here, no sleep moves, species clause, evasion clause, no hacks items, no last respects, no shed tail, no moody, and we are allowing baton pass, but only dry passing. And our definition of dry passing is you click baton pass, and you're not allowed to pass anything, including stats and substitutes and aqua rings and any of that.
You pass Aqua Ring? I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, you can pass a lot of shit. Ingrain is a
Yeah.
crazy one to pass.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing you can't pass any of it, so don't even try.
That's right. We will kill you if you do. That's what it's written in the rules, actually, that you die.
You know
you
the
will
stakes.
die. All right, let's meet the team. So first in the pick order is Alex, who is this his team name? Light of Ruin melts steel beams.
So a lot of players did not yet submit team names or logos, so I took it upon myself to come up with team names for some of them. This may or may not be one of them. I'll leave that up to the audience to try and decide. But if people do want to keep up with the season or the draft and stuff, some of these team names might change as people submit actual team names.
Yep. Is season 1 really his best finish?
Yes.
Wow. Not even tied. He's never been 3rd or 4th since then.
No, I think he finished 5th in season 4, just outside of the
God
3rd, 4th,
bless.
because I believe it was season 3 when we started doing double elimination, and so he was 3rd, 4th because there was no double elimination yet.
I see. That's crazy. That's fraud watch. Let's look at this team though. Megaflow Wet, Aegislash, Araquanid. Kind of an interesting start to the build. I kind of like the idea of Sticky Webs plus Aegislash in a format where everybody's level 50, so they're all relatively slower. So, like, stat changes, I think, technically affect your stats a little more as compared to level 100. I'm not, don't quote me on that. But, also because of Champions, like, revamped EV system, like, you don't get quite as fast.
Right.
As,
There are no
you normally
IVs
would.
as well, which is important to mention for some things. But yeah, when we said in the rules that we're using champion stuff, that includes the champion stat system.
Yeah, which is gonna throw me off my game because I'm so used to, like, I've got these benchmarks memorized, and now I'm gonna have to, like, relearn them.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, interesting sort of stuff with, like, the sticky web support, but then the rest of the team to me doesn't seem like it's, like, taking the best advantage of sticky webs. Like, Barbarical, Shell Smash Sweeper, like, I mean, who cares if your opponent is sticky webbed? I guess it's like a little bit of insurance against grounded Choice Scarf users. Although how many of those are actually going to be faster than Barbarical at +2? You'd have to be a pretty damn fast Pokemon.
Indeed.
Crocodile, good Pokemon. I don't think you can really go wrong with that in this format. Sneasler, kind of dangerous. Already a really fast Pokemon, though. I don't know if you absolutely need the webs, but, like, I guess you could find a matchup where it's reasonable to keep the webs up, and then you can just bulk out your Sneasler because you're like, well, I'm gonna outspeed everything anyway, so.
Might as well get the free sword stance on your Adamant Sneasler, right? Like,
yeah. Dire Claw is still in this game, right? But it's nerfed.
it is, yes, that's correct. There are a lot of moves on here, such as Dire Claw or Make It Rain or Rage Fist, that have been, questionable decisions to allow in Gen 9 that have been since hit with the nerf hammer from Game Freak. So notably the ones that weren't, such as Last Respects and Shred Tail, are on the ban list because those moves are fucked up. But yeah, we're allowing and accounting for these move changes.
Yeah. Gorgeist and Emolga to round it out. That you've been in cooking if you draft those guys.
Draft boards there when you draft a Mocha.
Yeah,
when you got 3 points, when you have 4 points, and you go, yeah, Mocha is what we're missing. A Mocha's the glue. Then you've been staring at the board for a minute.
Yeah, interesting to note that Alex decided to keep 3 points. There is some amount of strategy to doing that. We do have a free, like a sort of a trade period in the first half of the league. So up until I don't know what week it's going to be for us, like 4. You are able to drop up to 3 of your Pokemon to redraft more, but you can only go up to what your budget allows. So you can't go over 90 points, right? So Alex leaving himself 3 extra points in case he needs to drop, I don't know, let's say he wants to drop Barbarical and get a 14-pointer later on. Kind of interesting. There's Alex right there calling it Baby Zapdos. I mean, when you think about it, okay, hear me out. Emolga is faster than Zapdos.
Right.
And its ability makes it immune to electric moves. So it's kind of like better Zapdos.
It even gets defog.
It even gets defog.
Right. If you just, like, close your eyes to the rest of the stats and, like, the 55 base HP. And does it get Hurricane? I don't think it gets Hurricane.
But no, I don't think so.
But
it gets Air Slash.
Oh, yeah.
Which is just as good, some would say. Well, I mean, if you get the flinch.
Are many saying this?
Chat, are many saying this? Air Slash just as good as Hurricane? All right. What do you think here?
I
Let's
really
do
like.
A tier, B tier, C tier teams.
Okay, okay. I really like Megaflow at Age Slash. Um, hmm, and Crocodile. Hmm. I don't know. This team, like, I look at it, and it just, like, in my mind palace, it feels clunky to play with, and difficult to like get in all the pieces you want and sort of bring all the roles you want on your team. Um, I think a reason for that is you have 11 points dedicated to Barbarical, who's kind of ass unless it clicks the move Shell Smash, and that really limits your options. Um, Aegis Lash is pretty like versatile, so that sort of makes up for it. As is like something like Crocodile, maybe Gorgeist as well. But I feel like having 11 of your points siloed into a Shell Smash guy is just kind of tough.
Hmm.
But who knows? Maybe Barbarico will put on a clinic and show us why we banned the Mega and the son is just as good as the father. But I think I'm going to give it a B minus.
Yeah. This team's keeping my head busy.
Yeah, it's keeping the head busy for sure.
Um, I think yeah, somewhere like I don't know if I would want to say like a plus or a minus quite yet, but I think B is about right.
Mhm.
I think there's definitely some tools here. I mean, Mega Flowette, it just clicks that Light of Ruin, and if you don't have a good fairy resist on your team, then like GG. Um, so yeah, who I guess that's where it's nice to have picked Aegis Slash because like steel types are going to be the thing that Floette's going to have the hardest time breaking, and you just like stole one of the best steel types. So
Exactly. And like something like Crocodile to hit all the poison, steel, and fire types that want to come in on Light of Ruin and just get blown away by Choice Scarf, Moxie Earthquake. Like, okay.
mhm. Yeah, for sure. And as much as it's funny to look at Gorgeist and Emolga and call that like staring at the draft board, like I think they are Pokemon that do get some decent utility for their point value. So,
I like it more than Barbarical, I'll say it.
all right, that's fair. Although I don't like the lack of like your spinning options is literally Emolga for this team. So,
And
uh,
there's no heavy duty boots.
I hope I hope you don't face a hazard stack team.
Barb is just warming the bench until I can persuade a Blastoise trade. You're going to be waiting until season 7 for that, I'm afraid. So, you're going to have to pry that from the Blastoise players' cold hands.
Team is 6-0'd by Skarmory. Well, I mean, you'll have to see who has Skarmory here. I don't think anybody
Yeah.
does, but let's move on. Oh my god, we've got the capital piercing drills? What?
Yeah. Yeah, ask Jeff about it, I guess.
Jeff, known pilot of the infamous team, the January Sixers, led by a big fat Chi Yu. Who's running it back with the capital piercing drills. He's got the drill that is going to pierce the heavens there, his Mega Excadrill, which is low-key one of the megas I'm most disappointed by, but I mean, it's certainly not a bad Pokemon. And let's see if it kind of brings this team together. Dragapult, first overall pick for this team. I mean, I feel like historically it's done very good in our draft leagues. I mean, it's a slightly different metagame, but like Dragapult still keeps all like the things that make it absolutely fucking busted. So I mean, it doesn't have access to choice specs, so that's going to be a heavy consideration for building with Dragapult. And then Galarian Slowking, I love that guy, but this is starting to remind me of one of my old teams. Those were my first two picks in season 4, 5,
That's right. I think it
4.
was 4.
So yeah, and then Hisuian Samurott, I think fantastic pick for the first
Especially in
two.
this meta game, yeah. And with in combination with the other Pokemon for sure.
Yeah, it's, it's a solid one. Serp is adding some special pressure to the team, which I think is a good spot for it because Dragapult, you might be inclined to run more physical since there's no choice specs, or like more utility. So either way, it's not hitting quite as hard as we are used to Dragapult hitting on the special side. So getting that big press from Serp is really, really good. I just skipped ahead on accident. For don't look at that. And then rounding out the we kind of already talked about Drill, but a good spinner, good utility. Steel is a good type. But rounding out the
Very
last
fat
three.
with its stats
Oh
boost as
yeah.
well.
The 110 HP naturally, and then it gets a pretty decent buff to both its defense and special defense, right? Alola Ninetales, Rotom Heat, and Mega Absol. So I think Alola Ninetales screen support makes this look kind of dangerous. Like DD Dragapult is now a very nasty looking win condition. Rotom Heat's got some good pivoting support, which is great for these kind of offense style teams. And then Absol last. So how our rules work, right? If you bring the Mega and you have to Mega it as you click a move. So any team that's running 2 Megas is going to be extremely constrained on their ability to bring both. Like if you bring both to a game, you are risking just taking an auto forfeit if you have
You
to
have
click a
to
move.
win. Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah, basically.
Which is good.
Yeah. So, like, if you're gonna draft 2, your idea would be to draft a low point one. And it would have to help you out in a matchup where your like main Mega is not gonna come, basically. Rainer's saying
Right.
bring both Mega the Absol, don't Mega the Drill. But then like you're not allowed to click moves with Drill, otherwise you auto forfeit.
Yeah. Maybe the rule Megas must Mega isn't clear. Yeah. That's what we were discussing earlier. Absol is 2 points because in 8 Mons and 8 Mons, especially with the Megas must Mega rule, like your Mega Pokemon has to be really good, right? Because if you're going to draft 2 of them, it's a huge constraint on your team, especially with 8 Pokemon where you're already really like squeezed into finding like role players because you only have a limited number of picks to fill everything and getting all your types down. And Mega Absol just doesn't really fill any niche. Obviously, if you look at like the other Pokemon that are worth 2 points, Mega Absol is way better than them in a one-on-one comparison. But the opportunity cost of having Mega Absol on your team is like really high, and so that's why it's 2 points.
Mm-hmm. That being said, it is kind of interesting that the 2 Mega options are your Spinner and a Magic Bounce Pokemon. So
Yeah,
I guess in a sense,
true.
if you decide that Drill just has a terrible matchup and you can't bring it, you at least have some form of hazard control, which is kind of an interesting team construction. I kind of like it. Now I think I would like a more traditional like spinner instead of Absol, but like it's champions. You've only got but so many.
There are not a lot of spinners on this board.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean you've got the screens option. You've got you can set a lot of snow. I don't know who's going to be clicking Blizzard to take advantage of it, but that's kind of a interesting quirk of the team. Does Serp get defog? No. So I guess you started last time. I'll start this time. I think like the first 4 Pokemon on this team are just really strong, and I think that you have decent enough support on the back end to justify it. So I think I really like this team. I don't know if Drill is like the best value Mega. Like if we could have gotten regular Drill and like a different midpoint Mega, like I don't know, like Altaria instead, I think I'd like it better.
Like a Mega Gyarados or something.
Oh yeah, like Gyarados would be.
Even Mega Scarm. Mega Scarm's a good one. Retains your Steel type.
Yeah. So that's like my one point of criticism. I'm also not sure how often Mega Absol is going to be like useful because of the rule set. Maybe there's like one matchup in particular where Jeff is like, you know, I absolutely do need Absol for that matchup, and like you're gonna get your 2
week
points.
1 into me.
Yeah, maybe. Actually,
maybe
that's exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I need to hit the builder.
But I think I'd give this one an A.
Yeah, I was going to give this an A- since I'm doing the partial grades here. I think Mega Absol is my main question mark with this team, as well as Mega Drill. I feel like there could be better Megas, but I mean, at the end of the day, Drill is a very good Pokemon. So like, you know, like it's just giving like taking Drill, but with bonus points, and he can't hold an item is like fine, right? So just be careful of oh, you know what? You know what I'm noticing?
What's that?
Rotom Heat is really carrying the boats when it comes to switching into ground type moves, because you can't run Air Balloon on your Drill. So, and Serp's pretty frail, but
yeah, I mean,
anyways,
Serp could
still
resist. It's not the worst case.
No, but yeah. Anyways, A-. I think the top 3 are really good, like just inherently strong Pokemon that don't require a ton of outside support and are sort of like powerful enough to do the thing by themselves, and with support can just flourish. So
yeah. All right, let's go on to the next team. Cloudy with a chance of weather balls. Dang, Pez finished 3rd or 4th in season 2. That's it. We're saying he's as good as Alex. Think about that. This is our buddy Pez, who's for those who are more familiar with my Gen 3 stuff, this is the guy who's responsible for getting me into the game. So shout outs to him. But I'm the one responsible for getting him into draft. Isn't that right, Porter?
That's right.
So what goes around comes around. I mean, this looks like to me that you drafted Garchomp as like first because it's a good Pokemon, and then you said, "Let me build a rain team," and then you realized halfway through, "Oh, I don't have enough points for Swampert," and you said, "What if? Hear me out, Mega Meganium." And you know what?
I think it worked.
I think it's an interesting idea.
It's kind of heat.
So, for those of you who are less familiar with like the new Pokemon here, Mega Meganium has a signature ability called Mega Soul, which means that when it clicks moves, it acts as if Sunny Day is active, regardless of what the weather condition is. So, for example, Solar Beam always going off in 1 turn, which is really good. Weather Ball, always a fire type move with 100 base power. So, I mean, that's also really good, especially for a grass type that loves that coverage. Synthesis, always giving you that buffed healing. And I think that's also really, really good when you have it on a
Hmm.
rain team where otherwise you would get reduced healing. Uh, so, um, yeah, we'll have to see how this one goes. I would think the rub with Mega Meganium is that it's dual type of is it Grass Fairy, right?
It is Grass Fairy.
Yeah, that's got a 4 times weakness to poison, but you do a really good job of covering for that by having 2 steel types and Garchomp, who's a pretty damn good resist. I have to
Hmm.
say.
As well as Basculegion. I think the scariest poison type in the format would be Sneasler, unless I'm mistaken. And like outside of Night Slash, you're really struggling to hit the fish.
That's right. But yeah, I mean, Pez, I think is like 100% weather drafter. I don't think he's played a season where he did not pick a weather setter.
Yeah.
I think usually his weather of choice is sun, so I guess he's shaking it up here with rain.
Hmm.
But uh, I mean, I don't hate it. The Archaludon, Basculegion, and I mean even Blastoise and Jolteon do take pretty good advantage of things in the rain. Like you can drop thunders with Jolteon, you can increase your water type damage with Blastoise. You've got the Swift Swim, you've got the Electro Shot. Hell, even Scizor appreciates the dampened fire type attacks. So, cool construction here. If I was given points for creativity, this might be number one. But I do wonder if you have a team that has a lot of good like water resists, like particularly like teams that have like dragon types, for example. Um, does this team have the breaking power for that? That's going to be the question.
Yeah. I mean, you do have Mega Meganium, and you have your own dragons to potentially trade into them, but yeah, I think we'll see. This team looks very powerful. Hopefully, it finds like its matchups, its way to overcome the defenses. But I do think that there are like constructions out there that this team could struggle to break. But we'll see. I think there's just a lot of utility, as well as just straight power baked into the team. Um, so
Yeah, I'm
I
thinking.
guess I have to go first, right, on this one.
Sure, yeah, yeah.
I'd say I'd say a very solid A. I think like you have good speed tiers, you have a lot of good rolls. A lot of your guys are just really flexible, which is kind of hard to like in the builder. Like when you're building against this team, it's like, is it going to be Tank Chop? Is it going to be like a Scale Shot Sword Dance set? Is Archaludon going to be like a stamina defensive set? Is it going to be like Electro Shot spam? Is Blastoise going to spin? Is Blastoise going to be a bulky pivot? Is Blastoise going to shell smash? I think there's a lot you got to account for when you're looking at this team, and I think that just makes it like a very solid A team.
Yeah, I think I mean, there are a lot of threats for sure. Um, I'm, I'm questioning a little bit the defensive capabilities of these Pokemon because there is quite a lot of type overlap. So I think you're missing some key resistances. Like you say, for example, Scizor is your only switch into Light of Ruin. Um, uh, you'll like what else? I mean, Electric is actually pretty well covered with Jolteon, Meganium, and Garchomp
Hmm.
and Archaludon. So that's good. Uh, but yeah, I guess like Fairy and Dragon spam look a little bit rough for this team, and it's putting a lot of the defensive load on Scizor to have like good switch-ins to that. Now, with a team like this, you might just be able to beat them faster than they can beat you. So there's plenty of good stuff there. I think I'd have to give this like higher end of B.
Hmm.
But I mean, we can say all this shit, and then we get into the games, and the pilot might be cracked or they might be crap. So you never know.
Yeah, I think personally, I think beating other teams faster than they beat you is, with the absence of items like heavy duty boots, a lot more viable of a strategy. Like just get hazards up and just get blasting. So we'll see. Maybe that will change as the draft goes on, and maybe some teams are built better to handle a type of strategy than others. But I think especially with most people's here first time drafting 8-mon, if not everyone's, maybe the teams are constructed a little subpar defensively, and we might just see a lot of these offensive blowouts.
Yeah, I I kind
Especially
of think
given
that would
like the
happen.
limited
Yeah,
mon pool and stuff. So
for sure. All right, let's go on to the next one here. Oh my God, it's the Silver Spoon speed bumps. That's a crazy name.
that's a crazy one. He's
So
not going to see this anyways, so it
yeah,
doesn't matter.
so speed bump is what we colloquially call people in the draft who, when it gets to their turn, take a really long time to pick. So that's crazy to have called him that, or call yourself that, right? Yeah, that's the LARP we're going with.
Right,
Uh,
right.
this okay. So we've got the two featured mons here, as it seems, are Megalopunny and Greninja. This gives you so much speed support. Like this team's not gonna want for like having the faster Pokemon in most cases. Yeah, there are some megas out there that are really fast, like Delphox and all that, but like even still, both of these Pokemon get access to pretty strong priority. So the very few Pokemon that do happen to be faster than them, they can kind of beat them down with the priority moves, which I think is really, really strong. Rotom, I guess we're gonna keep the LARP going. Rotom Warsh,
A load of wars.
yeah, Rotom Warsh is well, I'm only saying this because one of our buddies in this league is a Marylander, so that's how he says the word wash. So yeah, Rotom Warsh and Gliscor, both really solid defensive pieces. Also, like really solid ground immunities. Now this team does not have that many like ground weak Pokemon. You get the Tinkaton and the Hisuian Gudra, but like you love to have ground immunities. Like take as many as you can get, especially ones that are not weak to rocks. So
Mhm.
Tinkaton, I think, is a really solid utility Pokemon. You've got access to your rocks and your screens, both of which are going to be instrumental for this team, I think.
Yeah, I had Tinkaton on my team last season, and that thing is just like every matchup. It's like, yeah, Tinkaton can provide some value. It's like an important check to something, and like stun locks it with like Encore or T Wave or Knockoff, or it's just a solid switch in that gets rocks up, or and Gigaton Hammer is just like it does a lot of damage. Tinkaton's so good.
yeah.
If anyone's wondering why Gliscor is 11 points, it's because there's no Toxic Orb in Pokemon Champions yet, and so it cannot give itself super lefties.
Yeah. There's also no, like, Gliscor doesn't get Roost in this format either, does
Mhm.
it? But it still
I believe
gets
that's correct.
Spikes, so... Like, Spikes and Toxic are going to be really, really nice for chipping down things, putting them into Lopunny and Greninja range. And then you have Volcarona. Like, okay, so this is a Pokemon that it doesn't love the fact that there's no boots because you really, really don't want to take that 50% rocks damage. However, if you have decent hazard removal, like you can weather some of these like teams that are relying on those rocks, especially if they have a rocker who's pretty frail and is likely to die early in the game. Uh, and then you have probably one of the scariest win conditions in the format for 9 points.
Hmm.
So I really like that. I also like that it's a fairy switch in. So you don't have to rely entirely on Tinkaton to handle the fairy moves for you. And against, like, say, a Pokemon like Floette, you come in on that resisted fairy move, and then you're getting your Quiver Dance up because they can't touch you. So
Hmm.
pretty solid
And
there.
with Citrus Fairy, you should be able to EVs. That way, you at least get 75% when you switch in on rocks. Which, if you only need to come in and quiver twice and like win the game or whatever, like that might be all you need.
Yeah, and and considering there's not a ton of Aqua Jets running around either, so like Volcarona, very solid Pokemon, I think, for 9 points. Uh,
Flame Body also an incredible ability.
yes, yes. Hell, you could even get a lot of use out of Swarm in a draft format.
Hmm.
Um, Gudra, I think, solid defensive Pokemon. Uh, not going to be quite as good a fairy switch in as what you would love your steel type to be, but like it's still got some pretty impressive bulk and some pretty good utility moves of its own to kind of bat away at some of the weaknesses of the team otherwise. And then we have Altaria, who's a 1 pointer.
Gotta get rid of hazards somehow, man.
Yeah, and that's
These 1 point no boot flying type hazard removal mods.
gotta love them.
Gotta love them.
Two things scare me about this team, uh, as far as the tools that it has for playing against the opponents. First has to do with the Altaria. That's the only spinner.
Hmm.
So on a team that has Volcarona, you've got a good number of grounded mons, and you have no poison type, notably. Uh, Teams that are using things like toxic spikes might be quite challenging for this team to deal with. Second thing also has to do with Altaria. It has a little to do with Volcarona as well. What do you think I'm getting at here? I think there's one type in particular that it's quite difficult for this team to handle.
Altaria and Volcarona.
Yeah.
I mean, I would not say it's the rock type, given your Tinkaton and Hisui and Gudra, but
No.
what are you getting at here?
Well, I guess okay. You've got Gliscor as well,
Sure.
but I'm picking the fighting type.
Ah, indeed.
In close combat,
Yeah.
hugely powerful move. A lot of Pokemon get it, and you have Gliscor with no reliable healing, Volcarona with not really reliable spin support, and Altaria, who is Altaria, as your fighting resists. When a lot of your key Pokemon do not like fighting type moves, so I wonder if I mean Gliscor is a good Pokemon still, but I wonder if that's gonna give this team some trouble.
Yeah, thankfully you have the Mega Lopunny and don't have to worry about it being used against you.
That's true.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm a little worried that this team's like frail offense like can get handled, and then all you have left are like defensive pieces without spin support, and that's just and no boots, and that's just like a recipe to get just slowly worn down and lose the game.
Yeah. But I honestly, though, the offense on this team is really strong. So I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably say B. Oh my
I was
god.
going.
Wait, hold up. Alex has a good point here. You just bring Iron Ball Gliscor because somebody's gonna bring T spikes into you, and
Oh
that's
my
how you get your poison
god,
heal.
that's, that's nuts. I do like the court change that was mentioned earlier. However, Cinderace is not in the game,
That
so there's none of
sucks.
that. Yeah, that's insane. If that's his game plan is to bait people into poisoning his Gliscor for him, then ChatGPT cooked when it made this draft for him.
Hell
But
yeah, bro! And you can grieve with leftovers too. If you
that's
well,
insane. No, you can't. You have the
well, you
Iron
can't
Ball.
though. No, but you
You
kind of
can't.
can though, because you could set gravity with. I think Tankaton gets it. Somebody's got to get it
Okay,
on this team.
maybe,
That's a
maybe.
that's a fucking crazy cook. But
That's insane. Surely your team explodes as you try and set all this up, but
yeah,
maybe
you
not.
probably yeah.
Someone sends out their like 16-point Mega Pokemon with 145 base attack or special attack and just like starts clicking buttons while you're clicking gravity with your Tinkaton.
Yeah. I mean, that all being said, I still like it though.
hmm
I think this is
I'd I'd give it a high C, C plus.
really. I would give it a B.
I would.
I think it's I mean, the offense is. I think this team can out offense a lot of teams. So
hmm
but yeah, let's go on to the next. We've got Tree Corona here. Piloted by Blake, who I think is probably going to have one of the lower finishes of the
Oh,
captains here. I'm kind of noticing that. That's kind of
you couldn't help but notice.
could not help but notice.
Yeah.
And do you want to talk about the first 3 Pokemon drafted here?
Yeah, so those are 3 fire type starter Pokemon drafted. The starters continue after that, but at least it's not a fire type. But yes, there's Mega Charizard Y. At least Blaziken is neutral to Stealth Rocks, right?
Right.
And then there's an Incineroar. But yes, those are 3 fire types. Who at least they 2 of them or all of them have a water type weakness, 2 of them have a rock weakness, and 2 of them have a ground weakness. So that's something that will have to be addressed within the draft for sure. And notably, Mega Charizard Y, it's very cheap despite being an incredible Pokemon, and that's because of difficult access to hazard removal when it is quad weak to the Stealth Rocks. So that's something else that we got to address before we start looking down, right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. So let's look down and see how those problems were addressed.
Yeah. So the first thing we want to look for with a team like this is spinning. And the only form of hazard removal is the Pokemon Glamora with its signature move, Mortal Spin. What's
I can't
the...
believe they took that from Scolipede, by the way. That's fucking criminal.
Dude, that is criminal.
It had Mortal Spin in ZA, and then when it came to Champions, they took its Mortal Spin again. That's so fucked up. Anyways, sorry.
No, speak on it. Speak on it.
Yeah. What did you do to my boy? You with the fucking ability too? Anyways, all right. We're not going into this.
All right.
They hoed him. They hoed him.
So, yeah, we talk about spin blocking as a pretty strong strategy for keeping up the hazard stack. And I'm going to be honest, of all the spinning moves you can have, Mortal Spin being spun blocked by steel types, got to be the worst one.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, I do think there's some pretty good counterplay there. You have 3 fire types and a Venusaur who loves to run Weather Ball or Earth Power. So you have a lot of pressure on opposing steals. But the fact of the matter is, like, they can switch into Glamora quite easily, unless you run Corrosion Glamora with Toxic. That might be
Yeah,
a
that
way to
works.
punish.
Mortal
Yeah.
Spin still doesn't. But yes, that's correct. You do have, if you do call the doubles correctly with your powerful like steel type detonators, that's great. But it is important to remember, if you didn't click the spin, then those fire type Pokemon do have to take the stealth rock damage.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a the thing is, it's a pretty one-dimensional game plan around the move Stealth Rocks. However,
It's kind of just blow them up before it matters.
yeah,
You definitely have some guys capable of that.
yeah. Suppose that you are able to deal with the Stealth Rocks. This team's got some fucking hitters.
Yeah, yes.
Like, who wants to switch into Mega Charizard and Blaziken and Venusaur and Dragonite? Like, that's fucked up. And then, what's actually kind of cool that I think some people would miss here, Slowking. So Slowking, pivoting move for it is Chilly Reception. It sets the snow. And you might think, well, why would you want to set the snow on a Sun team? Well, set the snow so that you can reset the weather so that when Mega Charizard Y comes back in, you get 5 more turns of Sun. That's actually kind of heat.
Yeah. Yeah, I think against this team, like, you have to make the boss calls. Like, if you get like a turn wrong and like Mega Charizard Y or Blaziken comes in unpunished, like something's dead. So you really have to be on top of your positioning against this kind of team. You really have to keep your hazard game on spot to handle things like multi-scale that you really want to break on Dragonite. You really want to punish and reduce the amount of times Mega Charizard can come in, stuff like that. I mean, Blaziken just like speed boosts and wins the game. There's a lot of serious threats in here that you need to position around, and there's a lot of pressure both like in the builder and in the game and in how you handle the threats. The question is, if people are able to solve that puzzle, can this team win?
Yeah, that's the big question. And I'm inclined to say probably not. But who knows? It seems like, to me, I would say I think this team is going to be hard to play. But like, it has a lot of like potential here. So those of you in Zetscord, the potential Mon emote Blaziken, I mean, like, this is that team right here.
I like the chat. This team looks broken. What? Oh, Stealth Rock exists. Never mind. And yeah, Stealth Rock exists, and there's no boots to do anything about it. But yeah, I think this team's gonna be hard to play and hard to play against. It's just gonna be, everyone's gonna be fucking thinking when this team's out there.
Yeah, that's keeping the head busy right there.
Yeah, this team is definitely keeping the head busy.
I'm inclined to say C, but like a much more like well-rounded team is going to get blown up by it. I can see that happening.
Yeah, I think like it's C, but if you were playing against people whose first time playing Draft League, this team's an A, because they just won't beat you.
Yeah, like say you're playing against a team that doesn't have a good fire resist, like it's kind of Jover.
It doesn't matter if you get Stealth Rocks up if you never make the Mega Charizard switch out, right?
Yeah, I mean basically, right?
Like if the Charizard just gets to stay in and click the buttons, and your Stealth Rocks do not matter.
Yeah, but good luck to you, Blake. At the very least, I think this team seems fun to play. So
Yeah.
all right, who's this guy here?
Yeah, so this is my team. It's not my favorite team I've ever drafted, but I am excited to try it. It's got a lot of Pokemon I've never used before that I'm very excited to draft. And It shows my best finish is season 2. I won. I also won season 1. And season 5, I guess I would say is like a first asterisk. I didn't put it on there due to how that season ended. Um, but I feel like I've got some good showings, and I kind of wanted to try some fun stuff. Palafin is a Pokemon that I really wanted to use in our Gen 9 draft leagues and never got the opportunity to draft. I don't know if if it ever made it to me. It might have once, and I picked something else, which would be I'd be really sad about looking back. But I don't know if it ever made it to me. So my draft strategy going into this was take Palafin first. If it makes it to me, figure it out from there. So that's what I did. And then after that, I grabbed Mega Delphox because it just looks really strong. Um, but these two are very greedy Pokemon who require a lot of support. So hopefully the rest of the team, which is just various utility guys, can help these two win. So I took Excadrill, who I think is one of the best spinners on the board. It's also a Steel type. Um, just a strong Pokemon. Everything we talked about with Megadrill applies, but he's just weaker and can hold an item. Grimmsnarl provides screen support for the two heavy hitters, opportunities to like get Palafin like in and out with screens up and not take too much damage, or opportunities to give Delphox a turn to click something like Nasty Plot or Calm Mind, um, Parting Shot to get them in, stuff like that. Grimmsnarl lost Thunder Wave in this generation actually, so that's very sad. I'll have to trick people Iron Balls if I want to slow them down. Don't want to trick any Iron Ball stick life scores, I guess, and give them free Toxic Spikes. I don't even know if I have Toxic Spikes on my team.
I don't think
But
so.
anyways, yeah, Hydrapple it's a good regenerator, but it doesn't have any self pivoting move, and there's no eject pack to like Draco Meteor myself out, unfortunately. But it's something I've always wanted to draft, and like provide. Given its ice weakness, having like Palafin and Delphox as like my heavy hitters seems solid. Um, Bellybolt, I think a lot of people are going to be surprised how much value I might be able to get out of Bellybolt this season. If you've played Ranbats and you run into the Bolter, you might just lose sometimes with your team.
Hmm.
And I want to bring that to people in the draft who aren't prepared. And the fat little bastard just sits there and slacks off and toxics and discharges, and he just statics your whole team. I guess that doesn't work with toxic. Ignore that. Cleavor, just like a good Scarfer, because I don't have a lot of great speed tiers on this team, as you can see. There's kind of Mega Delphox, which is really fast. Palafin, which kind of wants to invest in bulk a lot. And then after that, it's like Drill. So there's a lot of speed tiers where people could just like afford to run not speed boosting natures. So it's important to have a Pokemon that I can like run a Choice Scarf on. So that's Cleavor. Um, it also has defog, so it can take spinning pressure off drill in some games. It can also set rocks, which can again take pressure off drill in some games. And then finally, Swampert is doubling up on the water types, but I think having an offensive water and a defensive water is fine, especially when they both have like pivoting moves like Flip Turn, and then Swampert just offers a lot of utility with moves like Knockoff and Stealth Rock, and is otherwise just a bulky pivot. Maybe I'll bring Curse Pert one game for the fans, but yeah,
Curse Rest Pert, it's gonna top the draft league.
yeah, we'll see, we'll see.
Fortunately, no hidden power rock option for uh, those matchups where you would rather have the rock over the ice. Uh, yeah, I think this team's. I showed this team to friend of the channel, Gold Mason, and he said he hates it.
Yeah,
But I don't see the problems that he sees with it. Um, and maybe a part of that is just because I know you as a player, and I know that you're not gonna fall into the pitfalls of I set screens, I go Palafin, I click button, and if they click button better than me, I lose. Uh,
right, right.
Yeah, you do have slide, Rainer. That's true, but like slide misses.
Yeah,
But
sure. Yeah.
but yeah, but like
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, this team is going to be a little less flexible, I think, than some other teams where like I mean, Palafin Delphox have to come every game, and they have to like they're going to be running fairly similar sets between game, especially Delphox. I mean, you might switch up coverage moves. You might be able to sometimes run Encore or sometimes run Nasty Plot.
Mhm.
But like in general, it's going to be really fast, really high special attack, like fire stab coverage moves.
Mhm.
Palafin, I guess there's a little bit more flexibility with Palafin. Like in a draft setting, like it does get to make some pretty good use of moves like bulk up. Um, Sometimes like even like rest, flip turn, really weird moves like boom boom burst. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it is a shame that there is no threat spray in the game because that's a unique option for Palafin to take in certain matchups as well. But
Yeah, ice punch. Like there's some good stuff there.
mhm.
And I don't think you are like pigeonholed into having to bring Screens Grimmsnarl every game, but the option to have it is quite nice. And yeah,
Yeah.
some of the defensive pieces are. We'll have to see how it works because like on paper, I think they're pretty good. Like Belly Bolt um, has some pretty nice bulk. It can stick around in games because it's got slack off recovery. It can use toxic to force switches. Um, you've got some decent rock setters in Drill, Cleavor, and Swampert. So you don't like you're always going to have the option to bring rocks on every team because you have to bring one of those Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly.
So like I like it, and then yeah, Drill with Spin, Cleavor with Defog, a little bit of like you're not pigeonholed into one spinner, which a lot of teams are because of how the constrained things are. And then yeah, the Hydrapple Belly Bolt core, as Rainer's saying, as somebody who's used that before, I like it. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
you can switch into the ground moves with Hydrapple, and then like you said, you've got the ice moves. I think Fairy looks a little strong into this.
Hmm.
Your resists are Excadrill, who's okay, and Delphox, who's not the Pokemon you would love to switch into hits. Like especially if
I
it's a
think
fairy type that doesn't like fold.
surprised.
Ye-
Delphox does have 125 special defense.
Yeah, but it's not. Well, it's draft. You can sometimes afford to invest. Its HP is a little low, and you're. It's going to be a question of does Delphox, if it switches in, is it threatening that fairy type out? Like, what
Hmm.
if that fairy type can tank a fire blast and then fire back with like a shadow ball? Then it may not be a favorable trade for you, right?
Sure, sure. Yeah.
Um,
That's something you just have to know is does my opponent's fairy type have the coverage necessary to hit Delphox
right. So
or Excadrill or whatever happens to be the switch in?
yeah, yeah. That all being said, like I think this team's I think this team's pretty good.
Yeah. I guess did I go first or did you go first?
Well, I mean, you're gonna glaze your team. You're gonna say this is like the
I'm giving
goat
this
team.
a B.
I would say I'd probably give it. It's got to be between B and A. So I guess we'll say higher end B.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Uh,
think probably a B plus. I think we'll see how this defensive core, I guess, holds up, and how much it comes down to out offensing people, which can be difficult given the turn required to like get Palafin online, get Mega Delphox online. I might just be too slow, so
right.
we'll see. It'll be fun. I think there's a lot of fun guys on here, so that's what I'm happy with.
That's right. And that's what matters more than anything.
Right.
Also, how many seasons has the Colorado Dragons Den existed? Three?
I think this
Four?
is the third season.
Yeah,
I
sick
think
logo,
the
by the way.
first, thank you. I think the first season I finished ninth and like bubbled into playoffs due to a technicality with the A seed. The second season,
Oh,
I
that's
like,
right. You snuck into playoffs because
yeah,
you were gonna miss it, but they were ineligible due to some of the rules that we had.
yeah. The second season of the Dragon's Den, I lost to you in losers finals. So I finished third. And then with the intent to make grand finals, I played as the Dragon's Den again last season. Did make it to grand finals. Again, that season has a bit of an asterisk because the final game was never actually played. But
So
at
we're
least we made
splitting the
it,
trophy, I guess.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Shout out to
so,
Mr.
but yeah,
Malfoy if he happens to be watching this
yeah,
somewhere.
the goat.
Yeah. All right. We've seen a lot of offensive teams, which I think makes a lot of sense when you're doing an 8-man draft. But let's see if we have some variety here.
Yeah.
And, oh my, what? Is this what we're rolling with? I know you made the slides, but come
I
on,
made
man.
the slide. Yeah.
All right. Let's get that off the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is me. Porter, I think, has the distinction of the most wins in Turn 17 history, but I think I have the most finals appearances. I go second. I get second place a lot.
Yeah, I believe that's correct. I think
I
because you definitely, my two wins are definitely like against you.
yeah
Season 0, you won. Season
yeah
3, I think you were a finalist. Season 4, you were a finalist. I think it's just season 5 that you weren't a finalist.
yeah. I think so. Of the 6 seasons, well, now this would be this. Well, we haven't played this season, so
Right.
of the 6 seasons, I did not play in one of them. I did not make. I got third in one of them, and then I've been in grand finals every other season. So, a little glazing of myself here.
Yeah, yeah. If there was an
I don't think
accolade
anybody else
section under
here.
best finish.
Nobody else here is top ladder in any format. So,
Yeah.
come on.
Sorry, did you want me to put under your thing ADV like number 1 and then include like a timestamp or something?
No, we don't have to do all that. All right, so my team. When we were looking at all the new Pokemon, I saw Mega Dragalge and I saw that stat spread, and I said, I love fat bitches. So I said I have to draft that thing first, and it's got Regenerator as well, and it's a grounded poison type, so it provides a lot of defensive utility for the team. So I'm very happy that I was able to get that. And then I was talking to some fantastic gamers. I don't know how much they actually play like modern formats, but a suggestion to me was, what if you just like completely dominate the Hazard game? And I said, big bet. Let's get Corviknight and Hatterene. Corviknight probably the most consistent defogger in the format. Thanks to its access to Roost and its fantastic dual type combination of Steel and Flying. I mean, obviously, ADV heads, you will know how good that type is. And Hatterene, with its ability Magic Bounce, is another option for just keeping hazards away. So I feel like, we talked about like teams like who are looking at their 1-pointer and saying you've got to handle the hazard support. Like, this is the complete opposite of that. Fantastic hazard support or hazard removal. And then I was like, okay, I've got my Dragon Fairy Steel core here with my top 3. So I was like, if it's so good, why don't we just do it again? So I drafted King Gambit, Primarina, and Hydreigon. the idea here is kind of, well, I still want rocks. Both of King Gambit and Hydreigon get rocks. The last two Pokemon also get rocks, so we've got 4 rockers on this team, which is kind of shiced. But King Gambit, I was looking to get something with really strong priority, especially with Sucker Punch priority, because there are a lot of pretty fast Pokemon here, and the big asterisk with this team is that it's pretty slow. My fastest Pokemon is Infernape, who's base 108, so we're not even quite outspeeding any of the 110s in the format. Thank God there's no Ogerpon. Although if there was Ogerpon, I probably would have drafted it. So
Yeah, the Ogerpons would be putting up fucking triple double numbers in this format, except for Rockpon. Sturdy blows when you have no spinners.
I mean, I don't know. Rockpon might be fine. It's just like, yeah, its ability sucks, but the dual stab is not bad.
Oh, it would still be good. It just wouldn't be moving like
Well, we
Water
we
Ogerpon would be
we probably
ridiculous.
have to talk about if Water Pond is gonna exist on
Yeah.
the draft board. But yeah, I think there's some good defensive utility in all of King Gambit, Primarina, and Hydreigon as well. I like having a second ground immune with Hydreigon, so that's quite good, I think. And then I was like, well, I've got to round out the team. I've got 13 points. I want some more speed, so I was trying to look at who are the fastest Pokemon still left on the board, and like Aerodactyl was just not speaking to me, so I decided to go with Infernape, who I think is kind of nice in the sense that it's like, I mean, it's not a super duper bulky Pokemon, but like it can be a fire switch in, which, I mean, granted, we do have 2 dragons and Primarina, but you know, given that Mega Delphox is in play and that shit's got Dazzling Gleam and Stab Psychic, uh, you know,
Yeah.
we need all the help we can get. Not saying that Infernape is the Mega Delphox skeleton key per se, but you know, having something that can switch into another fire type move is nice. Having some fire type coverage myself is nice, because one of the things that does suck about a Dragon Fairy Steel is that it's hard to beat other steels, because you don't have any, like, all your stabs are resisted. But that's usually you get away with that because the dragons have either ground or fire coverage. Unfortunately, that's not the case for Dragalge. So we're going to need some help there. So it makes sense that I would want to get a fire and a ground type last. Runarigus, I think, is going to be an interesting Pokemon here. I like that it's got the normal and fighting immunity as well as an electric immunity. The dual defensive stabs of ground and ghost makes it a very interesting Pokemon defensively. It's also got that ability Wandering Spirit, which can punish contact-based attackers who really, really thrive on their abilities. We can just give them the Wandering Spirit, and then they're kind of in an awkward spot. But that all being said, yeah, I mean, I think this is going to fit my playstyle very well. I've got a lot of defensive pieces. We're going to have to see if it works out, because this format is, despite the fact that we don't have things like specs and band, it's still a pretty high power format. So I could see situations where I might just get out-muscled. But this is also one of those teams that if you can't really break it quickly, I might just win like 5 or 6-0. Because of the suffocating defense. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with your points. I think this definitely seems like a team that you would build for yourself to use. Sheet the previous slide. But I think, especially with how limited like defensive options are on the board, like grabbing like a bunch of really premier defensive pieces, especially the first 3 picks, like it makes it really hard for other people to build a good defensive like backbone when you're taking like the regenerator, you're taking the Corviknight, you're taking the Hatterene, right? Like it not only gives you a very defensive team, it makes it very hard for other people to build defensive teams because there's not a lot of substitutes. Um, Infernape as well. I think we did see in a previous season someone rolled up with like a slack off Will-O-Wisp Infernape that like low key walled whatever the fuck it was switching into. It was nuts. It's like I didn't realize Infernape had game like that until I saw that set. It was insane. So yeah, I can definitely see like suffocation is a very good word for what I think is going to happen to people, probably myself included. Um, so yeah, yeah, I'm excited to see you get another win with this one because this team is great.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
I've been getting glowing reviews on this team with people that I've shown it to.
I
But
also fuck with the purple and like black color scheme.
oh yeah, dude, it's so
Oh
nice with like that witchy aesthetic that I'm going with.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
so sad that you drafted Mega Dragalge. I know you were going to, but I really wanted it with Palafin.
Well, I hate to break it to you, pal. If I didn't draft Mega Dragalge, I
I
was
know
drafted
you were
Mega
gonna hate. Yeah,
Delphox.
oh, well, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. No,
I think
if you sniped
yeah.
my Dragalge though, out of spite, I would have sniped your Palafin.
I know. That's why I couldn't do it.
But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with this team. Yeah, you know, I don't know if it's the strongest team I've had. I've had the the Dragapult, Glowking, Weavile first 3 picks, and that team just fucked.
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't win that season. But you know what? Actually, it's because I didn't have an electric resist, and in the finals I had to play against Raikou. So, uh, stop cheating on shit like that. um, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, my goat team was always going to be that season 0 Gen 8 draft with Clefable and Steelix holding it down. But I,
Oh,
I'm
my Dragonfall
open.
and Celesteela team.
Oh man, that team. Oh, I remember I had Magneton
Yeah.
for you.
I was like Wakanberry flamethrower or some
That was
bullshit.
that was the craziest game.
I
Because
know. I wish we still had that replay.
yeah, fucking Zarl, man, losing our replays. You guys, listen. Imagine this. He's got Celesteela. I've got Magneton. And I said, okay, Celesteela, common lead for him. Looks like it's good into my team. I'm getting that Magneton in ASAP. And I click that Thunderbolt, the Wackenberry goes off. He clicks Autotomize. And I say, okay, we got to figure out the coverage. So I literally switch all 6 of my Pokemon in at some point before the Celesteela dies to see what his coverage is. Then I figure out which Pokemon I'm allowed to sack. And then I managed to somehow trade into the Celesteela, only giving up 1 kill, even though it took damage on literally everything. And then I somehow clawed back to win the game.
Yeah, that was a nuts game. That Celesteela set was so good. But the fact that you still won despite it was very impressive.
Thank you, thank you. But we're all getting better at the game, so we'll have to see. I'm giving myself an A, man. Pat myself on the back.
I would give the team an A as well.
All right, I
I
think
think for the format it's in, it's one of the stronger teams we've seen.
yeah. I think this is the last one here.
This is the wheel.
It's our boy, the small dog destroyers.
Yeah, he's got the lion. So we all know that what the lion does to the small dog. So
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Pardis won season 3 for us. I don't think he's played since then, though. Has he?
No, he played one season, one, and then this is the comeback.
Yeah. So who
Got
knows?
his
Maybe
Gen
this is
9
the fucking
W,
goat
said it's
here.
time for the Champions W. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. And he's got what was it that was said? The wheel pick Golden Go Meowscarada is that that's Hitler and Heimler or something
Yeah,
drafted,
something like that. It was
or
insane.
Goebbels or something like that. Yeah, that's a fucked up first two picks, but
Yeah, as someone who won season 2 with Meowscarada Golden Go on their team, um, those two are really good. I know Make It Rain's been nerfed, but given the hazard situation, which I feel we've mentioned on every slide so far this PowerPoint, but need to keep mentioning because the hazard situation is very important to the context of the draft. Having the best hazard blocker in the game, you block Rapid Spin, you block Mortal Spin, and you block Defog in Golden Go. The only thing you don't block is Tidy Up, and no one drafted Mousehold. So like, it's kind of nuts.
yeah, um, I hate this. Uh, the next Pokemon here is Quaquaval, who I think actually pairs really well with Meowscarada. They're both pretty strong on the offensive side, but they hit kind of different things. You know, you have the Grass Dark is really good, a really good type combo. Water Fighting, as you know, as a Palafin spammer, is a really good type combo as well. Like the only like blind spot, quote unquote, is fairies, but like not even because you have fucking Flower Trick and Wave Crash to click into those, which is good enough. Uh, Quaquaval's also a spinner, so you've got your spins spoken for here. So I think that that's pretty solid. Um, and then the rest of the team, I think there's a little bit of letting the foot off the gas here. I really like Clefable. I mean, Clefable is my second favorite Pokemon, and Draft has a lot to do with that. I think it's just one of the best draft Pokemon. I mean, it's one of the best OU Pokemon in Gen 6 onwards for lots of reasons. And I think draft even like amplifies its good traits because it's got so many moves and you get to take advantage of that. And you know, I'm sounding like the Pokemon Club president here talking about my favorite Pokemon, but like when you get to run some shit like Charge Beam, Cosmic Power, Stored Power, Clefable, like, come on, man, that shit's awesome. Uh, but I'm not so big on the other four.
Yeah, I really would have liked. Maybe Mega Pyroar will prove me wrong, but I really would have liked instead of this Mamoswine, one of those powerful midpoint megas that we've been like talking a little bit about throughout this. I think that would have been like the real like the garnish on top of this great starter three, where no one's really contesting your access to these midpoint megas and you can get something really powerful.
Yeah, I mean, I think I legitimately think that Mega Altaria was probably the biggest snub on the draft board. Um, Now, granted, I don't know if I like having Mega Altaria plus Clefable, but if you wanted to go that route where you had Mega Altaria instead of like Mamoswine and then fill out the utility mons thereafter, I think that maybe would have been a really solid route to go for this team. As it stands, I think Mamoswine's not a bad Pokemon. It's got the rocks, it's got the Ice Shard. Ice Ground is really good coverage. Its speed tier is kind of middling, but in a draft format where you know what your opponents are bringing, sometimes that can be fine. Like, for example, against my team, Mamoswine is pretty dangerous. Um, but yeah, I'm not big on Staraptor, Rotom Fan, Pyroar to close this out.
Mhm.
Um, like you said, I don't love Pyroar. It's got the Fire Main ability, which gives it a 1.5 times boost to all of its fire moves. So, like, it's going to be clicking some big fat overheats. But, like, I don't love these one-dimensional offensive Pokemon, and Pyroar really does not have much outside of, like, clicking fire moves. Uh,
Mhm.
a simple rock type Pokemon is going to give Pyroar a lot of trouble. Now, granted, like if we go back through, I don't think there are that many rock type Pokemon drafted, especially not like the really good defensive ones like Tyranitar. But yeah, I'm not loving that. And Rotom Fan is like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I really wish the like Rotom fan points were like allocated to make Staraptor like Mega Staraptor, and then Mega Pyroar becomes something else.
Yes, and I think that this is going to be a point of contention here. We filled out the team with a lot of rock weeks. And like yes, Quaquaval's a spinner, and it's not a bad spinner by any means. Uh, and I think Staraptor is a defogger, and it's I mean of the flying type defoggers, it's not that bad because it can force a lot of switches because it's got really strong double
Staraptor
edge.
is not a.
Oh, it doesn't have defog this gen.
It is. It is not.
Ooh, never mind. So it's Quaquaval. Quaquaval is holding it down. The thing is, that's the Quaquaval's a pretty easy Pokemon to spin block if you've got a good Ghost type. Granted, there are not a lot of great Ghost types. Like, your, I think your best bet is like from the board is like Dragapult, but Quaquaval does have Ice Spinner, so it's not completely helpless into a Dragapult switch. It, but like as good as you blocking the opponent from spinning away the hazards is, I think Stealth Rocks has given this team a little bit of trouble. Um, we'll have to see. Obviously, there's some smart ways to play around spin blocking in these later generations here. Unless your opponent has Golden Go, then you're kind of SOL. But um, that could be an issue. Another thing that I think is going to be an issue for this team is the move U-turn. A lot of these
Yeah.
Pokemon, like in particular, like Meowscarada, yeah, okay, they're not a lot of like bug weak Pokemon, but like if we're forcing a switch and you've got to switch into one of these Pokemon that doesn't have the greatest defensive utility, you get a big U-turn off, and then you get to pick whatever you want to switch into, and then like especially if you've got those rocks up, you're like wearing this team away. I think this team's gonna struggle into any of the like pivot spam structures that are going on here. Um,
Oh shit! My
although,
DoorDash is here. I'll be right back.
yeah, that's right. I think I agree with you, Rainer, that Quaquaval is because of it. It's not super duper fast or super duper bulky. Um, opposing offense teams are going to give it some trouble. That being said, though, I do like. I think it's got a really strong nucleus with Gold, Meow, and Quack. And like you do have some pretty good matchup division Pokemon like your Mamoswine, and honestly, Pyroar is not a terrible matchup division Pokemon. Any of these teams that are like struggling to find a fire switch in are not going to appreciate Pyroar. So, like, some of the problems that I do have with the team, mostly lying in its defensive qualities, I think are can be mitigated by fast pace of play. Um, it's still gonna have the issue of like I think a lot of teams are gonna have an issue with fairy types. When this team's like two of the core Pokemon on this team being weak to fairy, you're relying a lot on Golden Go and Pyroar to patch that up. Now Golden Go's Gotta be one of the better steel types to have versus fairies because you have a really strong make it rain and access to recover. But yeah, that all being said, my buddy Porter, I think, is getting his food right now. I'm gonna probably give this a solid B, and we'll see if he agrees with that. I don't know who else is still around in chat, but we can chop it up here while we're waiting for Porter to get back. Maybe I will scroll through Discord as I'm waiting here. Prim and Delphox look like they messed this shit up. I tend to agree. Did Porter go to Purdue? Why do you ask? Because yes, he did. What else is going on here? We're the NPerts are talking about lead whack, man. Pharmaceutical type of guy. Well, I mean, considering that you know where I work, and I think I've said that I work at the same place as Porter. That does track there. How you know that? How you know all this? Jeez. You'd think that getting the DoorDash wouldn't be that hard, but I guess when you're out of town in a hotel, it could be hard to navigate. Who should we glaze again here? My team? Look at this team, man. So good, right? I mean, think about my team, like Scarf Hydreigon with U-turn into this squad here. We'd have to see if I mean, I don't know if Pardis would counter pick the Scarf Meowscarada. But like could be an interesting construction. Corviknight's looking kind of good here. Although I guess a Pyroar could give me some issues. I do happen to be playing Pardis. Did you look him up on like LinkedIn or something? Glaze the Rain team. Where is this? Here? Yeah, I mean, there's some hitters on this. You know, I'll say, I played a game against Pez here where he had a Sun team with gouging fire. And I said, okay, who is my fire resist on the team? And it was a dragon type. And I said, okay. So basically, we don't have a good switch into gouging fire. So I literally ran Reflect, Utility Umbrella, Clefable. And that shit worked. we got the Clefable in, and he said, all right, I'm clicking that big fat Flare Blitz. Utility Umbrella blocked the Sunny Day boost to it. Then I clicked Reflect, and he said, uh-oh.
All right, I'm back.
How's it going?
Good, good.
Any closing thoughts on the small dog destroyers?
I think if the plan is to out offense other teams, it might struggle, and it might also struggle in the department of like trying to outlast with its defensive pieces. So I think it's going to be a very interesting, like, sort of balanced mid-range type of team that might not make it in this format, but I am ready to be surprised.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some scary stuff, like, you know, like, I think like Scarf U-turners are going to be rough, especially ones that lure in the Meowscarada. But like, you might have to play risky, because what if Pardas decides, you know what? I think his best idea is to bring, like, I don't know, like Scarf Hydreigon with U-turn. I'm gonna bring Scarf Meowscarada. And then you're like, well, shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy to scout for that either. So.
Right, because you don't have a lot that can check the speed on Meowscarada, because it's so fucking fast already.
Yeah. So.
I do think without the choice band, the team loses a lot of offensive power that like Staraptor and Meowscarada might otherwise bring.
Yeah, banned Mamo, banned Quack. That could be great. Like, this is another team. I think, like, if you could have 4 life orbs, then this would be ridiculous. But you can't. So, what do you think? I gave the tier that I put it in.
It has Golden Go Meowscarada, so I can't give it anything lower than B. The question is it a B minus? And I'm going to say yes, it is a B minus.
You're big on the B minus, aren't you?
I am big on the B minus. Why do I see in the chat, did Porter go to Purdue pharmaceutical type of guy? Did you dox me? What happened?
I did not. This guy must have looked your ass up on LinkedIn.
That's insane. He probably did, because I think my profile picture on Google is the same as my LinkedIn profile picture. But joke's on him. I haven't updated my LinkedIn since I got this 2 jobs ago. So.
You got some outdated info, I guess.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right.
That's crazy.
So we're at the end of this slideshow here. We got the 7-week round robin style. 8 coaches. We're all gonna play each other. The playoff format to be decided. I kind of like the idea of top 6 and the top 2 get the bye, which means that you can play like absolute dog shit and still make playoffs. But the 2 players who play the most dog shit, we get the clown. So that's funny. How to keep up and where to watch this. I think what I'm gonna do is probably stream this maybe every Monday. We'll see if that works out. Could be a little bit fluid with where we go with that. Reason why I'm gonna be doing these in stream formats is one, it's a good way to kind of backdoor into more regular streaming. Zets does it a lot. It seems kind of fun. So, yeah. The other is that I don't want to tank my analytics, because I know that you Gen 3 guys do not give a fuck or a shit about Pokemon Champions. Unless my name is literally Jimothy Cool. which it isn't. So that's let I don't want to nuke my YouTube channel on accident by uploading videos for this. But it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be fun. We're gonna chop it up on stream here. Maybe we'll get some people from the draft league to weigh in. We got some fun guys. Not Amoongus, but like you know what I mean. In the format. So yeah, how you feel, Porter?
I'm excited for the season. I don't think any of the teams are exceptionally bad. I think it's nice that we don't have a D tier, whereas previous seasons there might have been a need for such. And it's been a minute since we played draft. I'm excited to play, especially with some of these guys we haven't played with in a while.
Yeah. Uh, I remember the Burbank construction complex.
Yeah, no LARP teams. A lot harder, too small of a decks to LARP too much. So.
That's right. For those who are unaware of the Turn 17 lore, there was somebody who he was very new to Pokemon, and he's like, well, what would be a funny team to draft? And he just drafted 10 Pokemon, or actually 12 Pokemon, that made him think of like, what would a construction site look like? And yes, Ludicolo was on the team, so he's a funny guy, I guess. But I guess real quick, we'll take a look at the schedule here. Week 1's literally right fucking now. We got Jeff versus Porter. So
that's a storied matchup. It's,
yes, this is like,
I think we have
I
played
think you
in
played week one
like nearly every league.
I swear we randomized it. I swear we randomized it. And yeah, no. Jeff versus Porter is like the season opener almost every season, which is hilarious that it keeps happening. Blake versus Rob. I would probably, I hate to say it, but I think they're the two weakest pilots. So
electrician versus plumber.
So somebody's gonna get out to a good start here. That's good. I have to play Pardis, who, like, other than Porter, I'm the most scared of as a pilot. So, like, I guess
you're
it's
gonna
good.
Have to give me notes because I play week 2.
Yeah. So Pardis has got his work cut out for him in the first 2 weeks, but I think he's gonna split these, and I hope it's not me that he beats. Yeah. We're gonna try our best. Fortunately, I did play a exhibition friendly against him while we were doing the draft, and I did happen to win that game. But I hope that I didn't give away too much of what I'm thinking about doing versus him. But I guess it kind of goes both ways, right?
Right, for sure.
Yeah. And then Pez versus Alex. That's a fun matchup there. They get to run back their Smash Grudge match.
The grudge match. That's a great start to the season.
Yeah. I'm not gonna litigate all the rest of the weeks, but let's see what week 7 is looking like. Who are we going? Oh! You see that?
A real important matchup, a must-win perhaps at week 7.
That's right. I bet that's gonna decide seeding for sure. Where in the top 3 we're gonna be. I mean, if it's 1 versus 2, maybe we just like gentlemen's to
give ourselves better matchups.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see where we're sitting when we get to week 7.
Yeah. But I have a feeling that Pardis might be, but just because of how good a player he is, he might claim one of those top 2 slots. So we might actually have to try there. Yeah. I'm not worried about either of us making playoffs. It's just a matter of who's getting the bye.
Right.
Yeah. Alex got his work cut out for him against Pardis. Oh, boy.
That's a tough closer. That's for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, no, this is gonna be some fire. Where's Pez versus Blake? I want to know when the Rain versus Sun is happening. That is week 6. Okay.
All right, all right.
We're gonna stay tuned for that one. All right, but this has been about as thorough as I'm willing to cover the preseason stuff before we've played any games. Join us back probably next week, probably early in the week, probably Monday, um, to see how the games went, and I'm gonna make sure that the VODs are available to watch in some form on the channel in case you miss it. This has been Tetrafolium and my good friend Porter, and we're gonna uh, see you all later.
Look forward to it. Are we good?